Street.
Hello and welcome to What Would She Do? I'm your host, Saran Almond, and on today's show we're discussing the black male vote. With the numbers stacked against black men, I encourage you all to vote. While some men respond to the call to vote like this, no, there's a population of men who feel like this.
As a black man, I feel we are under attack. We've been under attack since 1619, when we were brought here from Africa and forced into servitude. Ever since then, we've been fighting against the system, against the powers that be in this country, against systemic racism, against the criminal justice system, against police. We've just had an uphill battle.
As a black man in America, I feel unimportant and humanly endangered. Outside of any race in America and any gender, who goes through more on a daily basis than the African American male. It's like from birth it's a burden and never should be that way. It's time for a change.
The good part about being a black man in America is being chosen by God to be part of this great, resilient people.
I have two different perspectives on that. The first is feeling like I'm under surveillance, and the second is optimism. I'm very, very optimistic. We are in a unique time in this country. The recent events surrounding the exposure of systemic racism and the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement has awakened the world to the true nature of life in America for African Americans.
I feel, as a black man in the divided states of America, that the systematic oppression, which is over 400 years, has traumatized our culture. And as a culture, we deserve compensation through reparations.
As a black man in America, I feel powerful. That would be the first word I use, mostly because I feel blessed to be in a situation. I'm always motivated by disadvantage, and in America it's very well documented that African Americans definitely have an unfair disadvantage that we're fighting against. I feel powerful. At times I feel discouraged because of the obstacles that we do face and trying to mentally approach what to do to change it. There's a whole lot of things, but I feel tired in the situation that we always have to do the lifting. As African Americans, period, but as a black man, we're the ones that have to do the lifting to fix the issues that the country has created on purpose.
Today, my co-host Rock Wilder will be joining me for the very first time to discuss the black vote, and specifically the black male vote. Well, thank you, Rock, for joining me today. Everybody, this is my co-host Rock Wilder. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Hey, let's get after it. Let's have some good conversation.
All right, so let's get to it. So in the previous video, we watched some black men express how they feel about being a black man in America. Could you relate to that video? And if so, how did that rest with you as a black man in America?
It resonated. Like, how could it not resonate? And quite frankly, not just only with black men, but even with you being a black woman, like, you know, I mean, who's closer to the black man than the black woman?
Right.
It should touch all of us, because this is, quite frankly, none of this is new. Black people have always been touched by, the going ons in America. It doesn't matter what your profession is, doesn't matter what your vocation is. Black people have, we've suffered at the hand of, of an oppressive, race of people. And, some would say that we work side by side and even fought with the same, under the same oppression coming from a certain race of people. And, because we fought, because we've worked, because we've built in this country, we want to have stake and some sure footing in every process in these United States of America. And that being voting. Say for instance, Ice Cube. He's come up with a plan that he desires to present to the two major parties, the political parties, be it the Democrat and be it the Republican. And some people have heartache with that and heartburn and like, come on, how is Doughboy going to develop a political plan? Like, here we go again with the actor or the personality trying to develop something for, and being one voice for black people. That's not more so my heartburn. Like that doesn't bother me whatsoever, because I feel we as people, we have the right and the freedom to do whatever we feel. I was always taught, if you see wrong, say something. Not only just say something, but do something. Haven't we always championed most people to take that type of action?
I don't think it's that.
Just don't talk about.
Yeah, I think the angst amongst our community is not that he developed a plan. I think it's his alignment, just being what he's been representative of in the black community. It is, for a lot of people, it's like a smack in the face. But I think it's strategic. I don't think this is by accident that, now Ice Cube is at the forefront of political conversation, as well as now 50 Cent is, making it public about who he's voting for. I feel like it's strategic. I feel like the black vote is important, and they're targeting black men, and it's not for nothing. And I think we all need to pay attention. I think that we all need to exercise our right to vote, and I'm not in a position, and even if I was, to tell anybody who to vote for. I would not do that. But we need to vote. We need to get out there if we're gonna see the change that we seek. We're not gonna achieve that by sitting home and complaining about it.
But Saran, I would like to go deeper. Can I just go a little deeper with?
Go for it.
And I want to go deeper because I want to challenge us all. And once again, I'm a father of 3 teenage girls, right? So during this election process, two of my teenagers, this is their first time being able to vote. Actually, their second time. They voted in the primary, and this would be the first time they're voting in a general election. So with all that being said, I always explain to them when I pull the ballot out, because we're doing absentee balloting. We're going to fill out the ballot and we're going to take it down to City Hall, right? But when I show them the ballot, I say, you see all of this on this ballot? You see all these people? Do you know all these people? No, you don't.
Right.
So, and not only that, you see these proposals that's on the back of this ballot? Do you know anything about this, being that you pay no taxes?
Right.
Being that you barely have any vested interest in any municipal resources that go on in this city in which we live, other than going to school.
Right.
I say, do you understand how much you're going to have to learn? So it bothers me when any human being, not that I got a problem with you because you good people, Saran. It bothers me when any human being just sits there and says, go vote. That makes no sense.
We are so in tune. This is the point of the show. People are really going to need to do their homework. You know what I'm saying? But to tell you what these different positions are responsible for and why it's important for you to vote, because you're right. It doesn't mean anything to say, go vote. Because in all transparency, I haven't voted in every election that I've been eligible to vote in. And even some of the elections that I've voted in, I haven't voted the whole ballot because I didn't know who the people were on the ballot or what they stood for. So no, I'm not advocating for anybody to go out there and just blindly vote, or, you know, some people are doing straight party, you know, voting. If that's your thing, so be it. But I think that you really need to do your homework on both parties, because you may not agree with everything that everybody is proposing. So you really do have to know who's on the ballot, what they stand for.
No, you're spot on. And once again, you know, so when we say do your homework, homework is pretty lofty. Let's just be honest about it. So when you got people working beyond a 9 to 5, they're working a 16-hour workday, and we saying go do your homework, understand what kind of challenge that is. Then, not only that, when you look at your high school age individuals that's able to vote, or even your first year, your freshman students, maybe even second year sophomores, when you're saying do your homework, do we really understand what we're asking of them? I'm not saying that it's not that it's impossible, but it is such a large undertaking for those young people. Now watch this. And I must be critical, because we have to understand where the problems lie. I tell my children all the time. I say the fact of the matter is, you sitting here trying to figure out how you gonna pass trigonometry, but yet they want you to understand a proposal.
But you know what? These youth are way more resourceful than we were at that age. They have way more resources. They're more tech savvy. And really, I don't think it's a stretch, because this is your life. All of these people are making decisions to affect your life. So you got to place a priority on it. So the election doesn't happen in a day where you don't get time to research, and, you know, it's really pretty much laid out. You know, like, you can go online right now and go to certain websites and find the people in your state and read up on them. So I don't think it's asking too much of any American to do your homework, because if you want to make a change, like, you can't be protesting, and you can't be on the front lines of the protest and the rallies, and, you know, talking a good talk and not walking a great walk. And I think the easiest of all the things to do, because it's hard to be out there protesting with all the challenges you faced. You know, look at what's happening in Nigeria. It's hard to be out there. It's easy to sit at your computer or look at your phone and read up on the people that are going to make the decisions that affect your life, not just right now, but for generations to come. So yes, I don't think that's a hard ask at all.
No, and you know what, Saran? I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. It is not too much to ask for, because if you can sit on TikTok all day and learn the latest dances, guess what? You can do you can do research upon the things that you need to vote for. But this is what I'm saying, though, Saran. The same way, let's stick to the trigonometry analogy. The same way you need a teacher to learn trigonometry, I understand it. You can go on YouTube and look at a bunch of videos to learn trigonometry. But the way the system has been set up, trigonometry is taught within a school setting. It is taught within an academic setting. Most teenagers do not take it upon themselves to learn trigonometry just on their own. So what I'm saying is, if that holds true, the voting process is not something we can just gloss over or leave it upon a teenager and say it is incumbent upon you to learn the voting process. Because I would tell anybody, most people, except during the election of 2016, that was probably one of the first time that most people ever heard of the Electoral College.
You think so?
Even if they did hear the Electoral College, how many people really understand how the Electoral College works?
I so get that. But like, even if you look at your trigonometry analogy, so I had to learn trigonometry. Ask me if I could do it today. No. Ask me if I've ever needed to use it. No. I've never had to use like any of that stuff, you know, in my life. But when you're talking about the things that affect you on a daily basis, and especially black men, you know, like right now we have a, you know, social unrest and, you know, protests and rallies, and we have a lot of things surrounding like the murders of black men, police brutality, like murders among black men, you know what I'm saying? We have a lot of things, systemic racism, you know, the disparities in our education system. I think we have a responsibility, yes, even teenagers, to educate ourselves. Whatever you want to learn, Rock, everything, all these resources is out here for you to self-educate. Like, if there are people out there that are like, oh, somebody has to teach me, that's what keeps us behind. Like, that's what keeps our community behind, waiting for someone else to do it. The people that are excelling, the people that are winning are learning like what they need to know. Like, it's nothing for you to look something up. Like the phones, you, like you said, you learn in TikTok, you can't sit down and learn about the things that are affecting your life. Like, we have to make certain things a priority in our life.
I'm not making any concessions.
My thing is to provide information to help people make informed decisions. So I'm going to give you the information, do with it what you will.
Hearing you say it, I'm like, man, that sounds so good. As a matter of fact, it just don't sound good. It is good. Vote for Saran. You know, like it speaks. You speak well on the matter. And once again, I don't want to be the negative guy, but I do want to be the honest guy. And honesty is, we talk good, like, hey, just go vote. Whatever information you got, just go vote.
No, it's not whatever information. It's like, find it. Like, some people, I don't want people to be like, well, I ain't know, because let me tell you, I'm being very transparent. I have not gone to I haven't voted every time because I was like, I don't know. I think politicians need to do a better job at making sure we know what they stand for and who they are. But I also feel like it is our responsibility. I don't care if you're a teenager, to get the information. It's nobody's responsible to make sure that you are informed. That is nobody else's responsibility but yours.
Say if Rock, right? Everything you said, I go out there and I go get my information. I do my homework, and then Rock goes and make a decision. Here's the problem, Saran. The problem is, and I'm just only speaking on black folk. I ain't talking about no other race of people. I'm talking about us. If Rock still go out there and I vote for Trump, I might as well be. I've just become the enemy of every black person that is not a card-carrying Republican. We will never survive and make any stride if we're so easily divided because my vote went another direction. Now, one of the most popular words that's running around is black people are not a monolith. That's like the new catchword for 2020 about black folk. Well, if that's the case, you shouldn't have so much heartburn if an individual decides to be a card-carrying Republican and vote for a person of Donald Trump's nature or anybody in his cabinet.
I'll pose a question to you. So, are you more willing to support a person who is openly racist or someone who is racist and pretends to your face that they're not?
There's a time black folk, especially black folk would look you in your face boldly and we would say, hey, look, tell me the truth. You know, just say it to my face. Don't say it behind my back. If Donald Trump is a blatant racist, isn't that what you wanted? Isn't that what we wanted to our face? Versus a racist that's trying to be discreet and being deceptive?
It just goes like, who are you more willing to vote for? Like, who makes you more comfortable? And that's, it's sad that that's what we're up against.
Let me tell you like this. I said this from day one before 50 Cent even came out and saying, first of all, let's just be honest. 50 Cent is the master of dragging people along. Let's just stop.
And that's why I said this is strategic. That's why I said this is targeted on our black men.
Tax bracket don't vote the same as emotions. I'm going to say that again. Tax bracket does not vote the same as emotions. So here it is. You and I, Saran, we both beautiful black people, right? But if I'm a higher tax bracket than you, right? And I got major businesses that I got to look after, and I got to look at how much taxes I'm paying and how much income that I'm keeping in my pocket and in my business. But you are a 5-day, 6-day-a-week churchgoer, and you lean on your spiritual and your moral convictions. We still not voting the same. Why do you think you don't see a bunch of black millionaires other than not politicians, other than athletes and entertainers running around with Black Lives Matter? How many black CEOs do you see running around talking about some Black Lives Matter? Exactly, because you know why? They got more financially to look out for. Whereas the person who don't own a home, the person who barely paying any taxes, the person who don't have any vested interest in city parks and county roads. See, it's easy to tear somebody's stuff up when you don't pay taxes on nothing.
Well, you know what? The other part of that is, because I get that to a certain extent if that has always been your bubble. But when you're somebody like a 50 Cent, like, don't forget where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what that struggle is like. I feel like we feel abandoned by the people that we help uplift and get to where they are. And then when they arrive, they don't look back and they forget. And I feel like, and this is just how I perceive the response, is like, really? Like, really? Like, we supported you all this way, and now it's about you and a dollar.
I wish that when we vote that we will all come together. I would love if that happened. Like, hey, as soon as I vote, every time a black person, cast a vote, that we would just kind of unify and just come together and just become strong. So right now, based on what you're bringing up, right now it's just a black man's turn to be used as a pawn. But here's the question. No matter what candidate has been put in office, what has changed? I'll wait. Not you, but our listening audience. I will wait.
I don't know. I think for us to get that unity you spoke about, we don't have a leader. There's so much division among us. We have, so many messages. And, while it may resonate for a little while, it's not substantial enough or loud enough to make a change that is going to make a significant impact on our day-to-day. And that's why I say it really doesn't matter who you're affiliated with. You have to exercise your right to vote, because the choices you make today affect the life you live tomorrow.
People also need to understand, especially the young listeners and viewers, they need to understand this. Where you live, always think about what's around you and where you live. Judges, your local judges, your sheriff, that affects you more than what you know. Get pulled over with a ticket and see how that is going to affect you based on that sheriff that you have. You have to go before a court in your local city, in your local county. You're going to see the effect of what judges that were elected to be in that position. Your city councilmen and women. These are the people that make decisions predicated upon where you live. These people are on the ballot. So let's look at it from that standpoint. So don't think that everything is just about the president that sits in office. No, there's other positions within these United States of America that have actually, truth be told, more effect on you than the president ever will.
Oh, I love that you said that. Thank you so much, Rock. You are always so insightful, and your words are so impactful. And I hope something that you said resonated with our viewers. And I truly appreciate you.
Oh no, hey, look, this is what we do. Hey, I appreciate you just allowing me to be, you know, the host with you. And look, this was fun.
We're talking to fathers, sons, brothers, uncles, grandfathers, boyfriend, neighbors. You matter. You matter now. Your voice matters. And not just when you're crying out in despair. I can't breathe. There's a knee on your neck, not a proverbial knee. The knee of police brutality, the knee of systemic racism, racial injustice, disparities in wages, education, healthcare. If you don't feel it, I know you see it. Vote, 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 vote. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can remain in the know.